What's up, guys? It's your girl, Victoria J from 12th Street Talk Back, where transparency is our love language. You guys know that transparency is very important to me because I believe it's the key to bridging the communication gap. Bridging the communication gap in our community amongst our generations has been very near and dear to my heart for a very long time. And I've been working feverishly to spark the heart conversations in our community. As the world changes, people change, life experiences can change us. Sometimes it can be hard to express yourself to the ones that you love. We all suffered something during the pandemic, some more so than others. Life can be like an emotional roller coaster, and that's why I'm grateful to BetterHelp. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this podcast. Guys, did you know with BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists that can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, all you need to do is to answer a few questions about your needs and preferences during therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with a licensed therapist from their network. Then sit back, relax, and you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable via text, phone, video call. You can even schedule live sessions. And if your therapist is not the right fit for you for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional cost. With BetterHelp, you get the same quality and professionalism that you can expect from in office therapy, but with a therapist that is custom picked for you. More scheduling, flexibility, and the best part of all, at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/12th Street. That's better, HELP.com/12th Street. I've also linked it in the description below. Let's start bridging the communication gap together. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, y'all, to 12th Street Talk Back, where transparency is our love language. I am your host, Victoria J. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Rest a while, kick back, relax on this groovy Saturday evening. Come on and kick it with your girl a little bit, just for a little bit. I hope everybody's been pouring into their self this beautiful, beautiful Saturday evening that God has decided to bless us in. Your girl been pouring into herself. I have to tell you though, this has been a crazy week for me, guys. I have been Ubering, trying to get a little bit of Christmas shopping in, trying to do a few shows and be guest on different people's stuff panels and whatnot. And it's just been it's been one of those weeks where it's been a little bit trying. It's been a little bit trying. I've been a little bit all over the place. With a lot of stuff. But I have to tell you, this is my favorite time of the year. I love the holiday season. I can't tell you how much I enjoy it. If you guys heard my last episode with the Thanksgiving, the holiday episode, I have to tell you, I have a love hate with the holidays. I love, love, love the love that the holiday season brings and all the joy, Thanksgiving and the food, and then moving into Christmas. I love that. I do miss my loved ones, though. I know we can't hold on tight, but I do miss my loved ones. So I tell you, this episode, I decided that I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about the seasonal disorder, and I also wanted to talk about like the holiday blues because you do get a little bit sidetracked. You do get a little bit out of sorts. I know I do. The seasonal affect disorder. Uh, Guys, I think I've been going through a little bit of that since the winter hit. I'm a summer baby all the way. I was born in August. I love everything about the summer. I do not care how hot it is. As long as I got me some AC in the house and some AC in my car, your girl just fine. However, I will say, the fall cruising into the winter. That's my favorite time of the year too, because I get to do all the fall colors and, just prepare for the holidays. But it's something about the rain, the cold weather. And ladies, we love ourselves some cute boots, some cute jackets, and, nice pair of jeans and our hugs. And for me, my brand is Bear Claw because girl can't afford them hugs unless I get them, another kind of way. If y'all dig what I'm putting down, unless I get them hot from somebody, I can't afford the price tag on some of them hugs. However, I do like Bear Paw because Bear Paw is just as nice as the hugs, and they're at a good, affordable price for your girl. They run between $50 and $75, and I've got about three pair of them. They just as warm, just as cozy. I'll throw on me some dang on gym pants or some tights and throw on me a pair of hugs in a minute with a big old sweatshirt, a hoodie, a t-shirt, and I'm out. I am out the door. So I love the fashion, but it's something about this holiday season. So when my girlfriend brought it to my attention, y'all know I had to go dig in a little bit. So she was telling me early on that I might have the seasonal affect disorder. And I always forget that middle word, but I know it's sad, SAD. So I decided to look it up a few weeks ago, and I thought maybe we would talk about that today on the show, simply because it is the holiday season. People are already, if you're like me, just a teensy weensy little bit depressed. And everybody has things going on in their life. I think the biggest thing that we can do for each other is admit that we all go through a little bit of depression, whether it be fall, winter, spring, summer. We all go through a little bit of depression. And then we all got stuff going on in our lives. We got stuff like, the kids going back to school in the fall. Then you got Halloween and you got Thanksgiving and you got Christmas and you got babysitting issues. And, it can be a lot to take in when, especially, you're a single mother, and not just being a single mother, that's even being parents, just being that person that has kids. Everybody doesn't make six figures, and even if you're in the high five figures, things can get tight. Things has gone up. You got gas, you got mortgage, you got everything. And I said it before and I'll say it again, y'all. They was gonna make sure they got some of that stimmy money back out of us. Trust and believe that. You done seen how these gas prices been fluctuating and mortgage prices been all over the dang on place. I mean, you can't even butter. Blue Bonnet used to be 99 cent, 69 cent, and that was a little bit over a year ago. Now butter is $1.59. Where they do at? That's what I'm talking about, because your girl, she cooks with some butter now. I mean, I got to have a little dab of butter just about in everything that I do. Y'all know how we do with that soul food, and I know it ain't healthy, but y'all got to blame that on the hubby, because he like everything tossed, fried, diced, and laid to the side, and throw a little ham hock and some bacon and all that stuff in there. And that's why your girl having issues now getting all this weight off of her. But I'm committed. I'm committed. I'm not going to do a New Year's resolution because I don't believe in New Year's revolutions. But we'll get into that as we get past Christmas. I don't believe in resolutions because I made promises to myself during the whole year that I don't keep. So ain't no need of me making a promise on a day that we go into a new year and I know that I'm not going to keep. But I have been doing a little bit better on making promises and making them and breaking them to myself. So let's go ahead and get into this topic of the day. We're going to talk about the seasonal affect disorder. And I got it right here, guys, for you. And I'm going to read it. And it comes from the Mayo Clinic. And this is pretty much what they say the definition is. The seasonal affect disorder is a type of depression that relates to changes in the season. The season affect disorder begins and ends at about the same time every year. If you're like most people with SAD, your symptoms start in the fall and they continue into the winter months, sapping your energy, making you feel moody. These symptoms often resolve during the spring and summer months. Less often, SAD causes depression in the early spring, early summer, and resolves during the fall and the winter months. Treatment of the seasonal affect disorder may include light therapy, phototherapy, physical therapy, I mean, not physical therapy, psychotic therapy, and medications. They say do not brush off that yearly feeling as a simple case of the winter blues or a seasonal funk that you have to tough your way out. Take steps to keep your mood and your motivation steady throughout the year. And they even had a nifty little picture about like a test that you could take to see if you had the symptoms. They also say in most cases, the seasonal affect disorder appears during late fall and early winter, and it goes away during the sunny days of spring and summer. Less commonly, people with the opposite pattern may have symptoms that begin in the spring or summer. In either case, symptoms may start out mild and become more severely aggressive as the season progresses. Now, listen, guys, these symptoms is what caught me by surprise. And I have to tell you, loss of interest in activity that you once enjoyed. I can't say that that's happened to me. I mean, this is my thing right here. This is my thing, doing nails, doing my hair. Uh, I'm not really a shopping girl. If I'm a shop, I'm gonna do it online, or I know exactly where I want to go in the store. I done seen it. I'm gonna pick it up and I'm back out. Um, I enjoy walking, which is something that I really have missed, especially during the fall season. And I've missed that going on 3 years now. I've tried it here and there, but because of the three back surgeries, I can't move around the park and the track like I want to. So that's kind of been a little damper for me because I would fill up my big old jug of water and put my earbuds in, and I would walk around that track at least 5 to 6 times, and I'd make sure I got me at least 2 miles in. And now I can't do that. So I'm missing that. I'm missing being out there in the fall and just taking that all in. And in my neck of the woods, down here where I stay at in North Carolina, we have a beautiful park, and it's got little springs all through the course of the park. And they got places for the kids to play, and you could just watch the streams of the water go over the rocks, and it's just wonderful and just old school buildings that's still there from the late 20s, 30s, and 40s, the old classrooms where they kept everything intact and moved them and put them in the park. It is just so nice. So, a part of me and that symptom, being able to get outside, walk around the botanical gardens. I live in a small county outside of the big county, and my downtown, I mean, it's just homey. Everything is little shops, little novelty shops, little clothing shops, and being able to do the window browsing while I'm walking and, know everybody. One of my girls' principal retired and opened up a little breakfast pub down there that we used to go visit. And it's just all the stuff that this surgery has me missing. And I think as I embark on this third year, you know, it's got me feeling kind of blue. I got frustrated a couple weeks ago because as simple as walking on concrete, trying to walk from one store to another, it feels like it's pulling, the floor is just pulling my whole body into the floor. Everything gets heavy and weighted. And I'm just like, Lord, are because I got three rods in my back. So I'm like, Lord, are the rods just, it's like magnetic? Is it just drawing me to the floor, guys? I don't know. But I started feeling really, really blue this year as the season changed. And I think that has a lot to do with it. It also has a lot to do with the fact that me and hubby, we are sharing a car. So I don't have access to my car. So most of the time I'm stuck in the house if I'm not feeling well and don't decide to take him to work. And it's just been one thing out of another. So I can sympathize with losing interest in the activities, but they all said feeling listless, sad, down most of the day, nearly every day, low energy and feeling sluggish. I can identify with that. Guys, I had to go and start doing me some energy drinks. And they had me bouncing off the wall for a little bit, had me feeling like I was superwoman over here. But I don't know how them kids drink that stuff. That stuff have you hyper. When it really kicked in, it kicked in prior to evening time. And I have to tell y'all, I was bouncing off of the walls. Then I got this little cappuccino mix for the little old um, one cup, one cup cafe machine that we got for Christmas. Shouts out to my sister who bought it for us. So, because she knew I was a coffee drinker. So I decided to try something new. Guys, I was up for 24 straight hours and then some, just drinking that stuff back to back like it was coffee. So I wouldn't say that I relate to sad or being down most of the day because I'm a generally happy go lucky person. But I will say I do have that low energy, that sluggish feeling. And I had to go get me some fruits and some vegetables and throw it into the blender and make me a shake, something that's going to give me some energy. And ladies, something to clean you out. I was talking on my Freedom Friday show about ginger and how when I first started using ginger, I used to make these big old chunks and put it into my drink. And that stuff is so powerful. And I didn't know ginger had that hot taste to it. Man, I'll never do that again. But I've learned how to use it properly now, guys. So it is what it is. Having problems sleeping, that's one of the symptoms. I have problems sleeping. I may be up to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just messing around, doing nothing, staring at this computer, trying to figure stuff out. And then when it's time to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, my little tail can't get out of the bed to do my morning inspirations on time because I done stayed up half of the night. I done just went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. And if it's not for my hubby, because he has to be to work so early in the morning, if it wasn't for him tapping me and saying, get up, get up. Are you going to get up and take me to work? Or you want me to take myself? Man, I be in that bed most of the time. I'm telling y'all, I will be in that bed most of the time. I also wanted to say, the weight gain, the cravings, the carbohydrate cravings. Um, that's been me, y'all. uh chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. I got me a bowl full sitting right here in front of me. Guys, y'all know they have the best chocolate around the holiday season. And then I call myself scooting away from ice cream because I gotta have me a cup or a cone before bed. And I decided to get the salted caramel light. Y'all don't even want to know about those experiences. Let's just say I got hubby at the store every 2 days getting me some caramel ice cream light. And because it say light, your girl thought she wasn't gonna gain no weight. The devil is a lie. Y'all see these cheeks of mine. Okay, more symptoms of the um seasonal, I don't know why I can't remember, seasonal affect disorder. More symptoms besides the sleeping, the weight gain is having trouble and difficulties concentrating, feeling hopeless, worthless, or guilty, having thoughts of not wanting to live. Now they say that these last couple symptoms are severe symptoms and you should seek therapy. Also, oversleeping, appetite changing, especially craving foods with high carbohydrates, tiredness, low energy. Spring seasonal affect disorder, trouble sleeping, insomnia. uh, guys, I get tongue tied. Insomnia, I can't say it. Poor appetite, weight loss, agitation, anxiety, increase in irritability. Now, they say there's a difference and know your signs, especially if you're getting help, you're getting therapy or something of that nature, because there's a difference between seasons changing and bipolar disorder. So, guys, make sure you know your signs and know your symptoms. See a doctor, they say. See a doctor when you feel so low. And guys, I think we just came up on Twitch's 1 year anniversary. Somebody that was so happy go lucky, you would have never thought that he would have taken his own life. So, guys, you take that serious. This is the time of the year where people have lost loved ones, um, and just the seasonal affect disorder, and then going into the holiday, if you're still grieving over a loved one, especially if it's fresh, if you're still missing a loved one, like your girl over here, I got two that I'm missing. They say throw yourself into activities. Now, I know this time of season, everybody's making videos or podcasts or little 30-second clips to talk to you about, making sure your mental health is intact during this season. So I'm not going to add a whole lot more onto that, but do make sure that you guys are doing activities that make you happy. Guys, excuse me, Miss Riri and I just did a holiday show. And I did this little Christmas tree behind me, and it cost me under $10 to do the tree. I got the tree from the $1.25. Everything's a dollar store. That's what we call it down here, down south. But they got that $5 section now. So I bought the tree. I think it's about 3 or 4 years ago I bought this tree, and it's been out of my storage. I decided to do something real festive back here in my office, as well as the big tree up front. The bulbs, those baby blue and silver bulbs, I probably hadn't used those bulbs since my kids was teenagers because I'll change my tree every year or every other year to a different color. So when I finished the big tree, I decided to pull this one out and do something in the area where I spend the most time. $5 for the tree. I made these little, oh, this is border that comes off of that you put around poster boards, or like they have the boards in the libraries or in your churches, and they make them real pretty with the border. I just stapled them together and just stuck them right in there. Refurbished bulbs, $5 tree. The flowers I did, they were that burnt orange that you see right behind me, that burnt orange and red. Took a can of spray paint, sprayed those babies, set them out on the porch, let them dry real good, stuck them in there, went on down to the Dollar Tree, got me 1 bushel of white flowers, cut them up. I think it was like 5 or 6 on 1 bushel, cut them up, stuck them in the tree just to give the ambiance of the season. I got my girl behind me. I ain't gonna say her name because every time you call her name, she'll pop up, and I'll have her put on some festive Christmas music, or I'm really into gospel music, something to lift my spirits. I may even be with my headphones on in here, listening to somebody's podcast, reading the Bible, taking some notes. I mean, it is what it is. You gotta make the season work for you. And I do drift. This holiday, I drifted and started thinking about my sister. I had this little picture that I have of her. She had to be every bit of maybe 15, 16 years old. And I kept it. It's one of my favorite pictures of her because she's talking on one of those big old telephones that we used to have back in the day, the rotary phone, sitting on my mom's nightstand. And she's got this beautiful smile on her face. And so when I was out shopping the other day, I bought a frame that said sisters. And I put my picture on one side, her picture on the other side. And that's a keepsake for me. And of course, I've got my mom's pictures everywhere around the house, in the hallway, in the front room. But it was just you know, things to spruce up, to let me know that they're still inside here. Still inside my heart. And I know that one day, getting closer to the holiday season, I'm really going to have a memory where I'm going to miss them. I thank God, though, that I'm not in that mode of crying all the time. I was riding down the highway the other day and I just burst out in tears because of all the things that I miss about both of them being here. I thought about how my sister would shop for her grandkids, and I mean, her tree would be packed. I mean, probably big as this room. She would just have stuff for her children, and they would have breakfast, Christmas breakfast, and then everybody get together. It was just something. And then when my mom was here, everybody came to my house. I mean, everybody came to my house, and the nieces, the nephews, the grandbabies, and I do miss those times, but throwing myself in different activities, doing the tree, doing the snow globes, um, just doing stuff, working with paint. Now my girlfriend got me getting ready to work with a candle kit. I done already ordered mine over on Amazon. I can't wait for that to come with the dried flowers and the smell good oils. And just being an empty nester, that's also something that I can relate to in a good and a bad way, because it's great to be an empty nester, especially when you want to go out to eat. You don't have to worry about, paying for your significant other and you and the kids. Um, but I miss the pitter patter of little feet around the holiday, it's not the same. You got a few gifts under the tree for your loved ones and the extra people. And in my case, most of the time, I've got to send my gifts off during the mail. So, besides wrapping a gift or two that hubby and I might get each other, just having that family togetherness. I miss that. It kind of gets dry. You know, we did Thanksgiving and, we were able to enjoy family and friends. And that was a great time just being around sisters and brothers and seeing nieces and nephews. But Christmas time, everybody usually sits at home and we FaceTime, of course, but it's nothing like the expectation of guests coming to your home. This year, however, my oldest daughter is going to come home. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for Christmas Eve. I pray, I'm keep my fingers crossed, guys, that when she comes out of that Dallas airport, she does not run into any bad weather that would cost her to spend Christmas in the airport or laid over somewhere at somebody's hotel. I am keeping my fingers crossed that her plane is going to touch down in our Piedmont airport at 12:36 like it's supposed to. Guys, I have not seen her since before the pandemic. I think the last time I seen her was like 2017, maybe 18. It was more like 17. So I'm excited to see her, to physically touch her besides the FaceTime. So that's a highlight. For you, girl. That I guess that memory, I can always use that memory to replace missing my mom. I have something to look forward to because I wasn't gonna put up any trees or anything. And I turned that thing around in a lickety split. And I have to shout out her father. Shout out to my girl's father. My first husband, he was able to make that happen and buy her a round trip ticket. So shout out to Des. You know who you are, and the family knows who you are. Kudos for you for being able to take some of your hard working, earned money um, and bring baby girl home. We talked about that during the summer. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it. We knew her money wasn't quite right. So he called me up out of the blue about a week ago and said, look, meet me and get this 800 and some odd dollars so we can get baby girl for home for the Christmas. I said, better yet, go on to the credit union, tell them people that you want to put that money in my account so I can cash app it to her so she can pay for that plane ticket. So that was an exciting moment and I cannot wait for her to get home. So it'll be me, the hubby, the little one, which is not little, she's 23, and then my 26-year-old. My son, however, he's going to stay in Georgia. He started a new job, and, it is what it is. He's got to get up and go back to work um, the next morning. So, hopefully, like he said, he'll get here this summer. But my hope, maybe in the year or two to come, that all three of them will be home just one more time. And the hope is that while God is opening up the windows of heaven, that I'll be able to move into a bigger home and be able to entertain my entire family one more time. That is so in my heart to just recreate what my mom always did when she was here. So between the seasonal disorder and the Christmas holiday, we can sometimes go through the blues. So you have to find stuff so that you won't. I got this little app on my phone that plays Christmas music. Then I found something on the YouTube channel that does the fireplace burning up to 3 hours. And although we got a fireplace in the living room, it's gasoline and you don't want your gas bill up too high. We run it all day. If it's cold on Christmas Eve and Christmas night in conjunction in conjunction with the gosh, in conjunction with the Christmas tree. Guys, I'm trying to figure out what that noise is, but this is the stool up under me. But we run our fireplace doing Christmas Eve and Christmas Day just to have that ambiance going and everybody sit around in their pajamas and just chill out and eat food. Um, and just make it do what it do. Normally, it's just me, hubby, and baby girl. So now we have my oldest daughter home this holiday season. So I mean, really excited about that. But when I started reading about the conditions of the seasonal affect disorder and how serious it is, how people go into a depression. And we all have a little bit depression in us. We were just talking about that on Freedom Friday about being transparent that you do have a little depression going on because most people do, but most people want to mask it and most people want to hide it. I myself have a little bit of depression going on in different areas in my life. It could go be a high for me one day. It could be a low for me one day. And a lot of people tend to think just because you're a Christian or you're a minister that you don't go through things too, but you do go through things. Not only do you go through things, you have other people leaning and depending on you and wanting to draw your strength this time of the year, especially during the holidays. You're getting those phone calls from people that's going through something. You're going through something. You're trying to keep yourself together. I mean, hubby and I just did an episode with the things about us, King Willie and Queen Fiona. Thank you guys for stopping on by 12th Street Talk Back. Guys, if you haven't caught that episode, it was a great episode. Candid conversation, much needed conversation between hubby and I. But we were just talking about um, communication, communicating with people. And I think the holiday season is the best time to communicate with your loved ones. Don't leave someone out there to dry. I know we've all been there. We've all done it before. We all got that one friend. We all got that one family member that just works the nerve. They work the nerve and they might be a little bit too needy and it's something all the time. I used to be that girl. I used to be that girl where people I know was running from my phone call. But with that being said, now I have the opportunity to let someone else lean on my shoulder. Excuse me, but it does not negate the fact that I got problems of my own. Like I said, during the holiday season, this week with the holiday season upon us, bills are still coming through the door. Me and my husband's communication has been off, and we were able to have a candid conversation with Willie and Fiona from the things about us, and that put some things in perspective for us. But then a couple days later, things were thrown off again because there's pressure there. There's pressure of the holiday season. Your bosses are trying to get all the work out that they can get out from you. You're going to be a little bit more tired. You're going to be a little bit more grumpy. And we talked about that on our last show in relationships about how he's still in work mode and he may still be in work mode when he comes home from work and may be a little bit snappy at me. And he did that this week after coming off a beautiful weekend and a beautiful beginning of the week. Towards the end of the week, he got really snappy with me, which kind of put me in a funk because I was already feeling a little bit low with the holiday season coming up and having to scurry around and try to get things in place for my daughter to be able to come and visit. And, having different things on my plate, doctor's appointments, doing the show, um, being able to scrounge up a little bit of money to get people a little or something, and without living above my means or going out of my way to do that. And I did a little bit of Uber, which is time consuming because you got to get one person to one destination in order to get to the next destination. It's cold outside. I'm not feeling well. I'm going through back pain. It's so much stuff, but we don't take the time out to really think about someone else's needs, because I just gave you guys a laundry list of stuff that was bothering me. And that was just in 1 week, probably in just 2 days, that stuff was bothering me. An injury to insult was coming off of a great weekend with hubby, a great conversation with the Things About Us show, and for him to be one of his moods that lingered. It lingered and it just would not go anywhere. And it just festered and festered and festered till we both went to our neutral corners and were cordial. So that doesn't make you feel good on top of all the things that you got going on. So I tried to put myself in another mind frame. In that mind frame, I tried to think about someone else that was less fortunate and what I could do to make their Christmas season okay. So starting next week, I decided 1 or 2 days out of that week next week. I usually like to go out and Uber early in the morning when my husband has to be at work if I gotta take him. And I decided when I stop to get my cup of coffee or that breakfast uh, biscuit, I am going to pay for the person behind me, because you never know what someone's gonna is going through. That could be an extra $5 or extra $10, but whoever's in the car behind me, I'm sure it's not going to be over $20. And if it is, that's okay too. That's going to be my way of maybe possibly making somebody's day, as well as um, I adopted a project. I wouldn't say a project, but a small child that been picking up little toys from the dollar store, the Dollar General, Walmart, my favorite place, Gabe's, and I want to play Mrs. Santa Claus. Although I won't be able to take it to them physically, I got somebody that's going to take it to them and give it to them and let them know that it's from me. And that's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, since my kids became a little bit older and wanted all the expensive stuff. I was ready to go back to the stage of, man, I could pick up a toy truck or a basketball for under $20. So I was able to do that. That filled my heart with joy. Last year, I made a bunch of tabletop flowers, and I sent them out through the mail as centerpieces for your dining room table. I gave them out to my sister and my bestie. This year, I was able to spend a little bit of money, and I was able to get everybody a little something because I discovered the wonderful world of Uber. And when this old body and ibuprofen work together, I can get out there for an hour or two and make me a few dollars. So I was able to do that. So that's my plan for next week. But we all know, man plans, God commands. I'm just trying to think of things to do to brighten someone else's day. Um, I didn't get to do this year what I've been telling most of my listeners. If you're new to YouTube, I've been trying to do senior citizens Christmas holiday giveaway. I've been trying to go to my local um, senior living facility, those that can still do for their self, or even perhaps in a nursing home, and give out gift blankets, things that they need, socks, blankets. I mean, I said gift blankets, gift baskets, socks, blankets, toiletries, things that they could use for their self. And for 2 years, I haven't been able to get that off the ground. Well, glory be to God. I have an organization that's going to start helping me at the beginning of 2024 so that we can make that happen this time next year. Last year, I was so gun ho that I had all of this year and I thought people would do something, even if it wasn't but donating 99 cents a month over on Spotify to the show with a subscription. And excuse me, guys, my sinus is so terrible. Um, Everybody's having a hard time. I'm going to chalk it up to everybody's heart having a hard time. I did have a few donations come in, but it wasn't enough to amount to help 50 people. So I didn't get it kicked off the ground, and I hate coming on saying that. However, with this organization, they are a credible organization, and they found out what I was trying to do, and they said they're going to roll up their sleeve and they're going to help me for 2024. So I'm excited about that for 2024 for my seniors, my seasoned people. But I was able to help my aunt out in her missionary work. And she has a complex that she goes and donate food to at least 3 times a year, the holiday season being one of them. And I've been able to successfully give her 4 boxes of food, canned goods, and things that's, non-perishable foods that she could take out to her people. And even one time I was able to go out with her and see the people's faces. And, that just filled my heart with joy the first time I was able to do that with her. And from there on, anything that I have extra, I'm tossing it in a box, or I might get a couple of cans, extra cans of tuna or pancake mix and syrup, whatever that I can throw in that box. And I just save it and I give it to her, and I make sure the dates haven't expired and all that good stuff. I bought a bunch of socks from the dollar store and I donated them, socks for diabetics. And so I wasn't able to kick off my own um nonprofit, I guess you would say. And I really don't want to say nonprofit. I just want to say I want to be able to bless somebody with something. And that's what the season is all about. Being able to bless someone that is in need. I wish I could do more for people. I wish it was in my means financially to do more for people. But God knows my heart. So even, excuse me, a kind word, a hot meal, paying for somebody's $5 lunch or $5 breakfast, that would help you out. That would help you pull you out of your funk, being able to do something for someone else. Having that dialogue. I ran into a lady at the dollar store the other day, and she just sparked up a conversation with me. She had a bunch of these little Legos in her hand. Well, not Lego, but it was a knockoff brand. And she was telling me how she bought a set. She went home and researched the brand, found out they were just as good, if not better, than the Lego. And we just got to talking in the aisle. I guess she assumed that I had children. I told her, I don't have any children, but I am sponsoring this small little boy. And let me grab a few of those. And she just walked around the store with me and picked out stuff for her to help me with to get for the 3-year-old that I want to get stuff for. And it just so happened her son happened to be 3. And just having that dialogue. Something about the holiday season, you can get out, you can meet people, you can have that that dialogue. You can go and sit down in a fast food restaurant. I don't know. I mean, everybody doesn't have a Bojangles or a Biscuitville, but here is Bojangles with the Bowberry biscuits and all of that stuff. You can sit down, grab you a cup of coffee, because most of the time you got the seasoned people in there that early getting breakfast and spark up a dialogue, especially if you're by yourself and you need something to do to keep you from walking around in your head with all that stuff that can cloud us, that can cloud our judgment and make us feel a little bit lower than what we are, whether it's the seasonal affect disorder that you're going through, whether it's grieving behind a loved one, a family member, or a friend, or whether you're just lonely. You're lonely and you haven't quite gotten out of your shell to meet people. I say it all the time. And someone brought it up to me recently and they said, I heard you say on your show you don't have many friends. You need to get out. And I really appreciate that. And she was right. I did say that on my show, but I've gotten to a point in my life. I like to keep my circle small, not smart, smart too, but not that what the word I was looking for. I like to keep my circle a little bit tight. Um, just like I like my church, you know, a smaller church so everybody knows everybody's name. Same thing with my circle. I like to keep my circle just a little bit small because there's a lot that can go on when you have a lot of people in your life and you start taking on some of the spirits that's on them, because that's what I call it. I call it spirits. You start taking on some of the spirits that's on them. I recently was around someone that know that I battle alcohol, and they chose to bring alcohol in my presence. And it wasn't by mistake, it was intentional to get a rise out of me. And at that moment that they did that, um, I started craving alcohol just with the smell of it. That was the first time in 2 years that I've been around someone and been that close to alcohol. And I had to get out immediately. And that put me in a funk. It put me in a bad way. And this person knows me very well. So why they would do that, I have no idea. And I'm trying not to hold a grudge. I'm trying not to um, be mad about it. I'm trying not to be mad about it, but sometimes, and I have those people that used to know me that still want to see if I am who I say I am. And that's a part of being sad and depressed too, because people keep trying you. They would try you, especially if they know that you're trying to turn your life around for the good. People will try you in so many different areas. I don't care if you are Christian or you're battling something. If you were struggling with drugs or alcohol, people will dangle something because you got a lot of mean-spirited people out here that they just want to see if you are who you are. And I left that situation craving the taste of alcohol, and I had to throw myself into something. And even though my mind frame was not right, I took like 3 or 4 Ubers to throw myself into another um mind frame. I didn't want to come into my home upset and agitated, and there's already communication problems. It was a lot for that moment. So I decided to remove myself from it, and I went and I got me something to eat, and I sat down and I listened to like 3 or 4 podcasts just in my car by myself because I needed that alone time. I didn't need anybody to comfort me. I didn't need anybody to rescue me. I needed to know that trigger, because it was a trigger, that I could get through it. in that moment. So for me, I'm proud to say I got through it. But being that close, it reminded me of I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to be around people that drink. I'm not ready to smell it. I'm not ready to be around people that do that. But glory be to God, I just kept saying, Jesus, I plead the blood, I plead the blood. And I was able to get through it. But, when back to my original thought before I went left, when you keep your circle small, you tend to know the people you're dealing with, or you kind of know the people that you're dealing with. So when someone does something, you can address it right then and there, and you don't have to worry about the he say, the she say, or no, I didn't do that. And you can kind of tell people what you want. So when my little compadre made that statement about, I heard you say you don't have a whole lot of friends, you need to get out more, and she would be correct. She would be correct. However, for me, keeping my circle small, it helps me keep myself intact. And I'm on this whole journey of self-help, helping myself, helping my community. And if I'm not keeping myself together, there's no way I can go out there and help my community and have these conversations and talk about stuff that people go through every day. And although this is only my second YouTube episode, I've been podcasting for a year now. And I don't know how many people that I've reached, but I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say something that I said blessed them in a way that they took something from it. And that's what I want my show to be about. That's what I want the YouTube channel to be about. I want it to be real. I want it to be authentic. I want to be able to talk about stuff that is real, because people go through real stuff, and we have so many people out here that has us in fantasy land about so much stuff, and we tend to gravitate to that, and then when reality strikes, it's devastating. So my goal, even though I've had some tell me, oh, you're a little bit too serious, you need to laugh at yourself. I do laugh at myself. I just don't laugh at myself a whole lot on the podcast, because I want you to be able to take something away from it of value, something that you could use to apply to your life. Even with me stumbling and falling, my lumps and my bumps, I want someone may hear me say what I want, my encounter with being that close to alcohol. And they may be going through what I went through, ex-alcoholic, and had the same experience, and it can identify with it and say, I'm, I know what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So that's my goal. And I'm like a fish out of water. I'm still finding my way in this podcast world. I don't have it all right, but I do know I got to be doing something pretty okay for the people that I have following me, the people that reach out to me, the people that reach out to me with love in their heart. I had a guy, which that made my holiday season, say to me, thank you for walking me through the Bible. And that meant the world to me to read that comment on my page, because all I'm doing is sharing what I read on a daily basis with my audience, showing you guys a part of me. And that's my goal. My goal is Vicky, keep her in the closet. Don't nobody want to see that rah-rah, head snapping, pop neck rolling chick that I used to be. And this is the person that I've always been. But I just got mixed up in the wrong circles, wanting the wrong things, trying to navigate my way through this thing that we call life, from teenager to 20s. And I started to even it out and figure out things in my 30s. But hey, I made some lumps and bumps there. Someone during this holiday season may be going through, they're not speaking to their kids for whatever reason or another. And that might put them in a funk. God knows I've been there. And I realized the other day going down the road, because I'm always thinking about something, um, when our parents used to say, there truly isn't a handbook. There truly isn't a handbook. Some of us choose to take other people's advice, but there is truly no handbook. I don't care from infant status to toddler to preteen to teenager to grown young adults or grown, full grown men and women. There is no handbook. Everybody's situation is different, and you have to wing it. And all that stuff between the seasonal disorder, affect disorder, it being the holiday season, having the holiday blues for whatever reason or another, whether it's missing a loved one, whether it's maybe in somebody's case, they may have gotten laid off work a week or so ago or a month or so ago and they don't have it in the kitty. They don't have that information, which brings me to this. You know, guys, if you everybody has one in their area, somebody is taking up a toy and they're doing it all the way up to the last minute. Give a kid a toy. The Dollar Tree has Barbie dolls and trucks, and it may be the knockoff brand, but that's not gonna matter to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 year old. They not gonna know that you got it from the dollar store. And the only person that's gonna know that you got it from the dollar store, your local Dollar General, or your local Walmart is the parent. And if obviously if the parent is out there picking up toys for their loved one, they need it, and it shouldn't matter where they got it from. I mean, I played with a knockoff Bobby doll from the Dollar Tree if I couldn't real as if I couldn't afford the real Barbie, I would just as well. Glory be to God. Even as a single parent, I never had to ask for a handout for Christmas and things like that. But there was one year when all I could do was afford to put up a Christmas tree. And I had to depend on other people to give my kids gifts. I had been laid off work 6 months prior to that, and it was what it was. And I thank God for the people that was in my life. There was a time where in my second marriage, we ended our relationship right after the holidays. And then that following year, by me trying to juggle all the bills by myself, I wasn't able to get my kids what I wanted them to have for Christmas. So I went and pawned all my jewelry, everything that was of value. I went and pawned it all to make sure that my kids had a Christmas. And I didn't look back. I didn't look back. I didn't try to make any payment arrangements on it to get it back because I knew it was for a good cause. If nothing else, I wanted to see that smile on my children's face. So we do things as people, we do things as parents, we do things as people. But this year, instead of sitting around the house, feeling sad for yourself, go out for a walk. Take in that cold at weather. Because somebody like me, I would love to be able to do that. I would love to be out there at the mall, even though I'm not a girl that shops. I do like to be at the mall around the holiday season, shopping, eating in the food court with the masses and masses of people looking for a parking space. Because, that's a part of what I traditionally did. So it sucks to be able to have to park at my local Belts, and that's the only store that I can go to unless it's one or two outside the door because I can't walk like that. So if you do have your working limbs, take in that fresh air. Make a day of it. If you're single and don't have any family around, take in that fresh air. Drive around and look at the festival of lights. Take yourself out to dinner, or better yet, light you some candles, make yourself a candlelit dinner. If you ain't got a fireplace, turn your TV on to the Yule log station, listen to the fire burn, get you a nice dessert. And I'm not a drinker, but get you a bottle of wine and have you a couple glasses of wine. Grab that remote control, that nice blanket, snuggle up, watch you some Christmas movies, get on the phone, call a couple people that's going to keep you in a good, cheery mood. And then go out and bless someone else, even if it's with a $5 toy, a $5 gift card, or like your girl plan on doing next week, blessing someone at least 2 days next week, because that's all my pocketbook can afford. But I know I'm going to be stopping to get that coffee and that biscuit, especially if I'm out Ubering, God's willing, if the weather permits. And the person behind me, my plan is to pay for their meal, whether they can afford it or not. So I thank you guys for listening to my rambling on today. But the seasonal affect disorder is a real thing. Make sure you know that yours is not high up there with depression, especially if you're seeing a therapist. Make sure that you know the difference between the two. And if you are the type of person that really gets depressed, grieving loved ones around the holiday, I know how that feels too. And my go-to was to go to the liquor store and make sure that my cabinets was filled up. And by the time I got nice and toasty, I was boo-hooing and crying and on the phone trying to call everybody. Ain't nobody want nobody to put no damper on a holiday because you done got boozed or liquored up and you in your feelings. So if you are grieving someone and you think that alcohol or whatever substance that you're going to go to, make sure that maybe you only have a glass or two, but don't have it around you to whereas you're going to keep drinking and festering on what could have been. Because none of us can change tomorrow. We can only live in today. And I thank God that He was with me when my situation happened. And I pray anybody else's strength. And my other thing is do it for yourself. Love on yourself. I'm still going through my 13 list of questions. One of them that I've really been working on is how pure I want my spiritual walk to be. That's going to be my next episode. And if I'm deciding to, make a transition to the show, and mostly Christian based. I mean, I don't talk about a whole lot of stuff anyway, but my joy is reading my word. My joy is talking to like-minded people, other Christians. And that's something I've been, thinking about. So you guys pray my strength in that because I love doing the morning inspirations. Speaking of which, that's something that I would like to be able to do over on my YouTube channel. I would like to be able to do my morning inspirations, which are Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays over on YouTube Live. And I need the people. Right now, we're at 40 people. I need 50 people. So if you're someone that's listening to me by audio, and you enjoy the show, please head on over and subscribe. Whether you watch every time I do a video or whether you continue to listen to audio, you will be helping your girl out. And I'm going to call out my family members because I got a bunch of nieces and nephews over there. And as much as y'all have y'all iPhones in y'all hand, I know y'all subscribe to me on Spotify, but y'all better bring yourself on over to the YouTube channel and subscribe to me on the YouTube channel as well. Happy holidays to you all. I wish you a Merry Christmas. We'll be right back here for Freedom Fridays on December the 29th, and then we'll be back again on December the 30th. I got a special guest coming on December the 30th. We'll be right back here on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube. Enjoy your holiday season. Don't let the seasonal affect disorder ruin your holiday. Don't let grieving someone or losing someone that's not here upset your holiday. And don't let people that's still here, that's not 6 foot under, try you. Keep them out of your space. Keep them out of your space. If you know that they're one of those that will try you, keep them out of your space. If not for your own sake, for their own sake. Because, my situation kind of ruffled my feathers to the point where it kind of wanted to bring Vicky out. But glory be to God, I was able to control myself in that situation. So, the holiday brings on lots of stuff. But one thing that I know that it can bring on is joy. It is what you make it. And someone told me a long time ago, a really good friend of mine, and he said to me, I asked him, he was a truck driver, and I said, you don't ever get lonely while you're out there? And he said, no, with over billions of people in the world, millions of people in the world, I don't care if I stop at a truck stop. I don't care if I got a layover for 2 or 3 days in a state. I go out and I explore and I talk to people. I'm never lonely. And for some reason, as I get my life together, that has stuck with me. I got so much to look forward to and so much life to live. And if it be in God's will, I cannot do anything but go up from here. Not just in the show, but in my growth, in loving me, giving myself the love, the compassion, the joy that I deserve. So, Merry Christmas to you all, and we'll see you right back here on December the 29th, if it'll be in God's will. Peace and blessings to you all. Have a good night.